Hi everybody, it's Marcy, and I'm here with another craft with me for Christmas. And today I'm playing with napkins. And to give you a little backstory, when I made the bookmarks for my goodie bags, I wasn't entirely happy with them. And part of the reason I think is because bookmarks a lot of times are laminated, which is great, but I don't like the little edge that you have around lamination. And so I started looking at some YouTube videos about laminating but not having the edge, so on and so forth. And of course, that led me right down a rabbit hole. And I found Anne at Positively Papercraft. And she was laminating napkins. And if you've watched many of my videos at all, you know how much I love doing stuff with napkins. So I had to start playing with laminating some napkins. And I'm going to try to show you, I've just started playing with this morning. And so I'm still working on it. And I'm going to try to show you these. I've got to tilt them to get rid of the glare because this is a gloss lamination, and so when I tilt it up right under the lights, it does cast a glare. But I did that one, and it's laminated napkin, and I made a little frame around it, and it looks really pretty. I'm so sorry for the glare. And I made this little journaling card. And this is my favorite one, and this is the one I'm going to show you today. So I've got this, and the laminated napkin acts as if you've printed on acetate. The reverse side almost looks like vellum, but I was able to get the image lined up, so I've got this separation. It's actually two pieces, but it's got the image underneath directly on the book page with that over it, and I love it. I just absolutely love this one. So let's get started. So I've got two different napkins here, and I'm just gonna jump right in, and I'll tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I've got a laminated pouch here, or a laminating pouch. And I'm gonna take this napkin and I'm gonna put it face down so that the front of the napkin is facing the pouch. And this napkin is a little longer than the pouch, which is okay. I'll just let it hang out. But you will have that from time to time. Now I'm going to take 2 sheets of copy paper, and I'm going to lay that on top of my napkin. And the paper between the napkins is necessary because that's what keeps, well, I'll show you when I go to pull it apart. And then I've got this other smaller piece of napkin that I'm just going to set right here. And it will be face up so that I can lay the laminating pouch on top of it. Now, and I'm not sure how well this is going to video, but I've got my laminator all warmed up. So I'm just going to feed my pouch through it. And Anne runs hers through twice, she said. And so that's what I've been doing just because. Now, in this process, the copy paper will become waste. And so as I play more, I may try using some other scrap papers, either magazine discarded pages or something like that, as opposed to using my copy paper, or misprints from digital misprints, something like that. Okay, so there, it made it through once. And I'm just using 3 millimeter, the thinnest laminating paper, pouches. And I've looked and I've noticed they do have matte pouches that I would love to have. They're rather, the only place I've been able to find them is on Amazon. And they are rather, they seem to be rather expensive. So I'll need to do a lot of playing around with the pouches that I've got. And be sure it's something I really want to do before I invest that money. Okay, so I'm going to turn my laminator off so it can cool. And now I've got my laminated sheets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's see. This napkin's so big I won't need to cut a lot. I need to cut all my sealed edges. Okay, so I'm just using my paper trimmer to get rid of those sealed edges. All right, so got that. And now you can see my copy paper kept the two separate. So now I need to find an unsealed edge. And now I can pull the copy paper away from the napkin. So all I have left is my napkin. Now I need to let you know, I did iron my napkin before I put it in the laminating pouch to get rid of the creases, the folding creases. And here I've got some book page so you can see through it. I mean, just like your napkin. Not, you don't see through it as well as if you had Mod Podged it, where the white pretty much disappears. But isn't that wonderful? Now this one I'm going to save, and I think what I'm going to try doing with it is fussy cutting some of these images to use on other projects. So that one I'm going to set aside. And I can see I had my napkin folded in a couple of spots, but that's okay. Now, this one I'm going to use, and I'm going to use, here's what I have left of the other part of that napkin that has not been laminated. Okay, and here I've got some book page. Actually, it's got a piece of thinner scrapbook paper between book page and some coffee dyed paper, and that will become the base for my tag. So, and this actually really is going to be a craft with me because I haven't done this one before. I don't know. Don't have enough for two going that way. That isn't quite tall enough. Okay, so what I'm trying to decide, I want to do the overlay like I did on this one. But I think instead of doing a matching one, what I want to try is I either want this panel on the book page with that as the overlay, which may be what I want because you can slightly see that winter time through there. I think I just answered my own question. Or if I do it this way, yeah, I think I want to do it this way. Okay. So, this is going to be a small little tag, but that's okay. So what I want to do, because I don't want to waste any of this napkin, so I'm going to use my ruler and my X-Acto knife. All right. Pull out my glue book, and I'm just going to use my glue stick. And let's see. Why, yes, Your Highness. Over to Your Grace speaks French. Okay. Just trying to figure out where I want my glue to be. Now, I've seen other people put glue directly on the napkin. My personal experience with that has been I tear it every time, so it's easier for me to glue the page that I'm putting it on and then just let it dry. All right, so let's move that, move that. Try to get this laid down without wrinkles. And I'll give that a moment to dry, and then I'll go back and cut away the excess. So while that's drying, okay, I'm going to want the birds. I don't think I want that one. That's where that, well, although that would probably be cut off, so really there's no reason not to use that one. So use my paper cutter and get it lined up and just cut it. Okay. Now, I'm going to use my rewards card that I used to, actually, I want to cut that at the same time I cut my other one. Sorry, my voice is kind of scratchy. And if this video gets to be too long, I will put some breaks in it. Okay, so all right, so cut that. Trim that just a tiny bit. That edge off, and the top. All right. Now, why is that longer? Doesn't matter. Okay, that'll at least get me started. So now that I've done all that, I'm going to go back around. I want to try to match these up. And it's not as important on this one as it was on the other one I did, because on the other one I had actual matching images and I wanted them to overlay as closely as they could. Where with this one, that's not the case. Okay. Now I want to round my bottom corners, and I will tell you the laminated stuff does not care a whole lot for the corner punch, although this one seems to be okay. So it made a liar out of me. It doesn't care for the corner punch if it's the only thing being punched. So have a backing paper in it. Okay, now I'm keeping them lined up, and I'm going to use my rewards card to cut my tag corners. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be pretty. Okay, now I'm going to lightly ink around the edges of this. So I hope everybody's doing well today. I had to jump on. I started playing with this laminating stuff this morning, and now I'm going to also ink around a little bit. I've turned it over so that I've got the paper, the napkin side, and I'm just very lightly going around the edges. Whether it makes a difference or not, I don't really know, but I just like to have that little tiny edge on it, even though it's barely visible. Okay. Now I'm gonna need a hole so I can put my topper through, and I think I'm gonna use the gotta be careful because I really don't want to get the bird's head. Okay. So there's that. And I'm not concerned about the laminated piece, but I am gonna put a reinforcer around the paper piece just because I had to punch it a little closer to the edge than I would have liked because I didn't want to get the bird's head. Okay, so now what ribbon do I want to use? I'm searching. That would be okay. Oh, maybe those two. This ribbon that I bought from My Scrap Cabin Shop on Etsy, and I absolutely love it. It's crumpled seam binding, and she's got every color under the rainbow, and I just love using it. I've even taken it and put it under my iron to get rid of some of the crinkling, and used it on various things, but I absolutely love this ribbon, and it's priced very competitively, so okay. Now, I've gotten to where I don't really want to tie a knot in it. I've learned that I kind of prefer using other things. I don't know that I want to use the bright red, though, to just tie a bow around it, because tying a knot in it adds bulk to my journals. And as I'm still learning stuff, I'm learning how to reduce the bulk. So here I've just got some of my crochet thread that I oftentimes use for binding. I'm just going to double knot that, and then I'll tie a little bow in it. Sorry, I keep getting quiet. Okay. Cut off my strings, and there we have a little tag. I absolutely love this, and I don't know if you can see it, especially with the glare, but I will have a picture that has no glare, so hopefully you'll be able to see more. But I can see the winter time that's underneath. I can see that through it, and I can see some of the book page through it. And then you lift it up and you've got that image. And I just think, I mean, it's such a simple little tag, but I just think it's absolutely beautiful. So that's all I've got for today, guys, but I'm loving this laminating thing. And I don't know, I've not tried the self-laminating sheets, so I don't know how well they would work, or like clear contact paper. But this, well, I mean, in essence, I don't know that it actually is acetate, but it's pretty much acetate. And so it just, it does beautifully, and the napkin is just on there and not going anywhere. So anyway, that's it for now, guys. Until next time, please be safe, stay healthy, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.